Welcome, welcome. How is your day? As I am buzzing in our guest for tonight, welcome to Strength Within a Woman and welcome to the Profession Explore second week today. And we are going to have for you. How are you doing? How has been your day? And what did you learn last week if you were connected? And what are you hoping to learn this week? So, and she is here.
Hi.
I like timekeepers.
Hi.
Welcome, Vanessa. I see Kazeli is online as well. She was our guest last week. She's from Belgium.
Nice. Europe.
So, exactly, representing the other side of the world. Welcome, Vanessa. How are you doing? I haven't seen you since when?
It's been so long. You look beautiful. I love your eyes. Earrings.
I'll try.
Nice.
When was the last time we saw each other?
Oh my God. It must have been maybe 2014.
Yeah, and then when we went back 2015, me and Kanye, did we meet?
Yeah, we met. Yeah, we met.
2015, 2015, yeah, that's when we met.
In Sweden.
I think the last time. Yes, we went back to Stockholm, me and Kanye.
So we for the first time in Cape Town, 2012.
Yes.
Like 12, 13, the shift.
Correct. There. I remember.
And I remember you were on stage and you were rapping. You were
spilling the beans already.
I saw you. I died. I was like, she is so awesome. She is so dope. I went. Do you remember this? I met you like at the stairs.
I do.
Like, come and join us, and then we were just hanging out.
I do. It was in Greenpoint at the Cool Out Festival or Cool Out.
Yeah. Big
anyway.
Yeah. Well,
Vanessa Yal is spilling the beans already. Well, I think we were just letting the people to also come through. Yes. But I officially greet you and welcome you to this platform. This is a very intimate platform that I know it's going to even grow and blossom into something greater than we can even imagine. So it is such an honor to have you on this platform in such a time. So thank you so much for honoring this invitation. And before I ask you to introduce yourself, I'll do so for those who are gathering here for the first time. This is Luthando, also known as Luthando, and I head this organization called Strength Within a Woman, and it's really an organization that focuses on women primarily who are entrepreneurs or aspiring to be entrepreneurs. Okay, so then in this first quarter of the year, which is something that we are doing annually, and this is actually the first one of Profession Explore, where we engage with different women who are experts in their own field, especially those fields that are not very, women are not popular among them, like politics in South Africa. You don't women who are pioneering in those spaces like this one, which is why I'm excited that you came in tonight, where we engage with women from these different fields, because then we are having women who are at the corporate space who want to venture into other fields, but they don't know where. They're just so used to how things have always been, that it's either you're a doctor, a nurse, or a lawyer, like your mainstream type of professions. So we want to inspire. Exactly. White collar professions. So I want to inspire such women, or those who are saying, look, I've just completed my studies and this is what I studied. I'm not even sure how to enter the market. So then we have women who are experts in those fields who can say, okay, well, I can, share a thing or two that you might want to learn if you're coming over to this side. So yeah, it's basically that. So thank you for coming in, and I'm going to let you to introduce yourself. Welcome, Vanessa Yao.
Luthando, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to be here. I'm sitting at my friend's office. Look, it's so cute.
Ooh, it's so beautiful. I love the colors.
Yeah.
Some of them are matching with my dress and my ears. Oh my goodness. Oh, hi. How are you?
Wow, I just want to listen to you. We had music in the room, and then when you were talking, I turned down the music. I was like, I really want to listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm hearing this voice. I'm also honored. Thank you.
So I'm here in Malmö, in Sweden. Yeah, I'm really glad to be here with you. I was surprised. I was happy, not surprised, but I was happy and a bit amazed when you texted me about your project, because I've always seen you as very, like, you have a very big drive. You've been on stage for so many years. You have a beautiful voice. You're using all of your register, you know, and you're active on social media and everything. And then you texted me, Luthando, and you were like, I want to talk to you about what you do. And I was like, what lane is she actually interested in now? And then it was kind of the whole register, because you are, as you say, like, how do you introduce yourself as a woman to, you know, a career? How do you go from studying something to like finding your path and finding your rationale and your mission, and
wonderful,
maybe what you want to do for the rest of your life? It's like, it's a kind of big thought, you know, to even be with someone for the rest of your life, or like doing something for the rest of your life. So I live here in Malmö, Sweden. I'm actually from Stockholm from the beginning.
Okay. Were you born there in Stockholm?
Yeah, I'm born in Stockholm, and I'm from a family. I'm from a culture family, you could say. Like, I have, my father is a musician.
Papa Goldberg.
Papa Goldberg. You met Boogie Bird. He's 76 today, and he's still a musician. Yeah, he's still a musician. He's still, you know, in plays, you know, playing the piano and like living that kind of life.
Yeah.
So he's a creative person. My mom is also, she's an artist. She's a very creative person. I have two brothers that are both musicians. One is a rapper, and you know him very well.
FATTA.
Yeah, and he's the link to South Africa.
Definitely. We would never have met.
No, we would never have
if it wasn't for Victor. Wonderful.
Yeah. And I have another brother that you know as well, Sasha.
Sasha, yes.
So everyone is creative. You have cousins that are doing dance and, you know, theater and everything. So I come from a cultural family, and it was always like, when I grew up, you know, we were always eating dinner together.
Yes.
And people were sharing stories. People were entertaining each other, and, you know, what had happened during their day, for example. And me as the sister, happening much in my life as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old or something, I just made things up. You know, I was lying. I was making things up just to have a story to tell, you know, just to have something to talk about, because you were supposed to talk. You were supposed to
engage. Okay. Yeah.
You know, speak your mind. This was how I grew up. And sometimes I got busted, you know, like my mother coming to my school and asking my friend, like, what happened? Vanessa told me you fell down a mountain and broke your arm. And like, my friend is like, no, I did not do that.
That's not how it happened.
So yeah. So I was, today I'm not lying as much.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
That, you know, that speaking your mind, entertaining, talking, giving in to the circle, you know, it's very important. And I think that's why I was interested in debating and discussing, and I was always interested in politics, and also growing up with two brothers, you get a little bit perspective of being the sister and the girl in the family, and the way that you have to push to come through. You know, you have to push to kind of compete with the guys a little bit.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So you have to always take a stand and always be on defense mode, because you always have to defend yourself. Okay. I just want to go back a little bit. So then in your schooling, because then also what we're trying to promote here is academic excellence, without neglecting passions, like people that can follow, whether it's hobbies or other interests, you know. And so I do know that you do have a wonderful academic background. And then you guys, there's someone here who says, Vanessa, you've always been a beautiful soul. Oh my goodness, of course she has. Okay, so for those who don't know Vanessa, I'm just going to read her bio quickly. So I'll just take a few things. She is from Sweden, obviously, and she's a rhetorician. Is that how you pronounce it? Me and my people want to know what actually that is, you know? And she's a political advisor for the Mayor of Malmö in Sweden. And she also started the Femtastic music collective, Femtastic, in 2010. I still have the hoodie, by the way, Femtastic hoodie. And was one of the initiators of FATTA. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. A campaign for consent and against sexual violence. And I'm very interested in that. That took great part of forming a new law of sexual consent in Sweden. Ma'am!
It's a lot.
In 2018. And she's also a DJ under the name of DJ Neyney and has performed globally, and I can attest to that, globally, and shared stage with artists such as Justin Bieber, y'all, Black Eyed Peas and Wizkid, and myself. I gotta put myself in there. She's also an experienced rhetoric consultant with a master's in rhetoric from Lund University, or Lund, not sure how you call that, where she specializes in political canvassing. And as a political advisor, she works particularly with strategic communication and issues related to culture, gender equality, and anti-racism. I'm going to repeat that one. Anti-racism, minority policy. You know, so we would just want to hear a bit about your journey in rhetoric, especially from the academic point of view. So what did you study and why rhetoric?
Yeah. So why rhetoric? You could ask yourself, and what is rhetoric? Right?
What is that?
So rhetoric is known as the art of speaking, or the art of persuasion.
Okay.
And it's actually an ancient scholar. It's an ancient practice and theory of how to create persuasive speech, persuasive communication.
Okay.
And it has its roots in the ancient Greece, with Plato and Aristotle as its founding fathers. And about there's kind of two lanes to it, but one part is that that communication is it's a little bit apolitical. It just is. It's like math.
Okay.
Like if you build a speech in 3 parts with a beginning and a middle and an end, and you know what you want to say, and you get back to it in the end, then you have a persuasive speech, and you have something that people can follow, and they will lead to action. So it's kind of very basically to build up communication in building stones.
Build up communication, okay.
Where you follow a formula, and if you follow this formula, you will get efficiency. You will get persuasion, and this is kind of the Aristotelian way of looking at it. So you're working with ethos and logos and pathos. You're working with your character, which is ethos. Like, who are you, Luthando? Like, why should I trust you? Why should I listen to you? You kind of build your persona.
Why should I follow your narrative?
Exactly. What has made you trustworthy? And we talk about trust. We talk about personal brand. We talk about, thought leadership, that you see a person and you know exactly what that person is standing for. You know what Luthando is standing for. She's promoting women. She's a woman on stage. She's a spiritual woman. We know some things because you have taught us with your thought leadership what you are. Okay. And this is the ethos part. This is the character part of it. Then you have the logos part of it, which is the logical part. We are also logical persons. We want to know how things make sense. So, for example, using numbers and facts and statistics and so on as arguments for the thesis that you're bringing to the table, it makes us trust you. It's one of these tools for trust. So if you can build your person, you can talk about, I've done this, I've done that, but if you don't have facts to actually back it up, it's kind of easy to burst that bubble. So, thought leadership is one thing, logos is another. And the day of age that we live in today, we have a lot of data, right? Data everywhere. You have big data, you have deep data, you have different kind of data. And what is data? I mean, data is actually pieces of facts or pieces of things that you can observe that together brings information. Their information on its own is pieces, fragments of information. And this information is logos. And this is needed to be able to bring an argument. Then you have the third part, which is pathos. It comes from the pathetic. Pathetic comes from pathos. And pathos is the emotion. It's that why you're angry. You have to feel it. You know this as an artist. You have to have energy on stage. If you don't have energy, why would people listen to you? If you're boring, if you don't burn, if you don't drive for this issues that you're talking about, why should people listen to you? So you gotta have heart into it too. And
so it's tripart then. Yeah. It's the thought leadership and then the logical part.
Yes.
That speaks more to your mind, and then the pathos, which speaks to your emotions. Yes. And now you must have all these thought or structures. Of course, you have a word for it, for you to persuade.
Yes. So these components,
thank you.
They are needed to persuade, and they can look differently. Like, for example, an image can create a very strong feeling for you, or music can create very strong feeling. So you have different senses also that you can work with. But these three, I would say, is the founding components of rhetoric, and from there you can go different directions. So I was very interested in debating in school, and I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to debate. I wanted to go deeper into communication. And for me, one thing was entertainment, and one thing was actually politics. How do I change society? How do I affect? How do I influence people around? And as a kid, I was arguing about things. When people were calling me names because I'm a girl, they were calling me bad names. I was raging back. I was like, I don't accept this. Yeah. So that kind of energy, I was exploring it. And in Sweden, they have rhetoric in the university. They have rhetoric, and it's a very Anglo-Saxon also kind of lane of study. The Americans are great at rhetoric, of course. They have debate class. I don't know if you have that in South Africa as well, like in school, that you have debate and things like that.
Yeah, definitely we do. We do. I'm not going to lie and say it's one field that many of our women, or even in general, have an appetite for, because of the nature or the reality of our politics. It's bad. I have South Africans who are here, they can attest. So it's just one field you wouldn't want to really go up into, because we already know that up there, there's not much of what we can look forward to into that space because of the reality of our politics. They just bad. It's like I'm trying to see what's an example I can use. Yes, it's like these countries, without mentioning name, that are always having wars and this, and I don't think there's much or many people who would want to go study to be in some army for those countries, because there's already so much that is going on. It's like you're signing up for death, if I can put it that way, So it kind of you don't get much of an appetite to join the army or contribute in your country in that way, where there's just already death left, right, and center. Like I'm saying, it's like you're signing up for death. So also in our country, if we're talking politics, so that is why I think I wanted you coming here to talk about us, to us about this, perhaps can also give us a change. You see, someone is commenting now to say that there's a sauna that is happening, State of the Nation address. And I kid you not, when we're having a State of the Nation address in our country, I'm ashamed of saying this, but it's like we're going to watch a puppet show.
Oh, no.
We can even go there and, you can literally just have your popcorns and watch, because, it's just, we're really not. Yes, you were saying?
This year.
Pardon?
You're having this year.
Yes. We normally have them every now and then. It's not like once a year. Every now and then when there's an issue at hand, you know, that has to be addressed. And obviously, if I'm saying that it's like a puppet show, that's how often it takes place, because there's always issues to address. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the reality. That's how it is. But thank you for taking us through the foundational or founding components of rhetoric. Would you say then that informed or now gave you that unction to actually venture into politics? Because then we're talking debate there. We're talking, okay, I want to read this comment. Someone says here, I think young people are not really encouraged or motivated to engage in debate because of its structure and the political issues. So that's what I was saying. Our young people, here's a sad reality. They don't even vote anymore. Yeah. Why vote?
I must say that I think that if you would have debate on the curriculum in school when you're like as a kid, actually, when you're younger, and you get some assignments, for example, being for and against a statement or a thesis, and you work with these kind of components, like how can we argue for this thesis on my side and on your side, and then maybe we switch, because this is also an idea of like rhetoric is it's not the same as propaganda. Rhetoric is not the same as, oh, now I'm gonna have bad sense of mind and like I'm gonna persuade everybody to do my thing. No, it's a theory of that language can make us understand and see things from different angles. And I see in this day of age also how we live, that we have one side accusing the other side for something.
Correct.
And the other side is accusing the first side of the same thing. They're accusing each other of the same thing. It could be, for example, double standards, that they use double standards, for example, or other things that you have. And this is also kind of the power of rhetoric, to see, okay, how can it be formed and shaped in a different manner? You know, why is this persuasive in this context? Because also there could be a reason, like you're problematizing now the reason to why people are not engaging in debate, because of the context of the politics of South Africa, for example.
Correct.
And maybe just an idea, but that you could foster this idea of having a debate about things from an earlier age in school, for example, where you can test it, and it doesn't mean that much. It's a way of like testing your voice and testing your ideas, because it's also, you always debate with yourself about things like, should I go this way, should I go that way?
Correct, whether you're aware of that or not.
Yeah. So this inner voice is also persuading you in certain ways. So I think that is very important, and I know in Sweden we work a lot with like, how can you democratize earlier in school and like, understand that there are different views, even being okay with there are different views. And I know that Sweden and South Africa, they're kind of far apart when it comes to politics, but of course also we also see some scary trends where, for example, so we're feminists also, right? And we're talking about in a feminist forum that, for example, young guys and young girls, they are very now different. They're growing apart, where the young guys are going very deep into the right-wing ideas, while the young girls are going into progressive ideas. And then you have the battle between progressive ideas of maybe doing something about climate change, or doing something about gender equality, doing something about poverty, these kind of, and you have the right-wing, more conservative ideas of more like strict parent theory of people have to take care of themselves, you know. It's up to everyone to, you know, if you want to drive a car, you drive a car. It's very different ideas, and you see that they're growing apart, and this is it's a very tough time that we're living in. It's a very tough time, and it's sometimes I feel that rhetoric and being part of politics can help me deal with it, dealing with things in news and so on, and being critical towards things. It can help, but also it can also drain a lot. So it's both sides. And I want to come into what I studied recently. So what I studied in Rhetoric was also being out canvassing and talking to voters, because I find this very interesting. Because, you know, if you have a demonstration, for example, does it make a difference that you have like flags waving in the wind? Does it make a difference? Does it make a difference that you have music or no music, that you have drums or no drums?
It does.
It does, right? And these things, they are very intangible things, but we know they affect us. And this is interesting to study, I think, that what happens when you actually meet someone and you're supposed to like persuade them to go with your party and so on, versus when you're online. What happens in this physical meeting? And I want to ask you, have you ever met someone like a canvassing for a party in South Africa, for example, and like knocking on your door or talking to you at a mall or something and trying to ask you to join? And have you experienced that?
Yes, definitely. Actually, in our country, we even know now when it's going to be elections time, we know how they do the campaigns. They come to the locations. They come to those places that actually you would never even visit just as a citizen. They come to the most, you know, unfortunate, you know, less, you know, privileged. They go to the villages. They don't mind going all out and bring all these, you know, things that people need, you know, immediate needs like food, clothes and whatnot. And then they would come because obviously they want to portray or express this: we are here for you. Look, we came all the way. And they'll be playing irrelevant music, you know. It's all persuasion, and it only happens when it's election times. So we already know, you know. But then that's it. They will come then 4 years later again. So yeah, we've met them, we know, and it goes even out of politics in every field, including, for an example, really religious structures. When they're opening a church or they are doing a conference, you know, they will campaign, they'll go door to door. Jesus loves you, come to our church, you know. So yeah, I personally have. But I tell you what, after all is said and done, you will never see them again. They're not going to come back. The religious structures are not going to come back on a Monday or next week to ask, okay, so how was church? Did you enjoy? They've done campaigning. Same with politics. You vote and then president, whoever wins, they're not going to come back next month to give you food again.
And this is so wrong, because it's like this is just orchestrated, right? This is theater. But then when it comes to community organizing and building structures, like really building structures for engagement, it takes time and it needs resources. It needs people.
Definitely.
It needs resources. I mean, politics is resources. Is knowing when to put the resources there and where to put it. And it also comes with having structure and faith in that people would actually work for bigger community and the better for more people, you know, not only for your own group. And this is we of course we have that too. Like we now have a government who is a right-wing government, and they are not to be trusted, and every policy they do is beneficial for the small group of very rich people in Sweden.
Elite. Yeah.
And it comes to anything, like, for example, lowering taxes and lowering funding for culture, and lowering funding for schools, introducing a lot of school companies. You know, we had a thing now in a school in Malmö that you get money from the government, a lot of money, but they have no obligation to show anything where the money is going. And now it was shown that this guy who owns the school, he's been in, luxury vacation, he's been driving luxury cars, he's been putting all of that money into his own pocket. It's a scandal.
We have a lot of those.
and this, of course, it makes people go crazy, and they have to. Of course, it makes people not want to vote. You know, it's very sad. I can tell you about when it worked. You know, yeah.
Yes.
I think we can learn a lot from each other, Abby.
Yeah, definitely. I'm loving the comments here. Abongile says here, we need to create more spaces for those discussions, even starting from homes and at school to engage, you know, great topics. You see, like how you were saying, it's actually something that is done at schools in Sweden, and maybe not so much here. I'm not even going to kid you. So I feel also and agree with Abongile that we can learn a lot from these. I think I wanted to just ask, what are the specific subjects, you know, that you had to take when you were studying rhetoric? Like for someone now who's saying, you know what, I'm actually interested into, you know, getting myself into learning this course at a university level. Yeah. So what, do you remember those subjects?
I truly recommend it. So we were doing speech, like basically writing speech, so speech writing, and then giving feedback and analyzing speech. And then you have a lot of literature on speech writing, but it goes down to the basic, the first one, the Aristotelian one, and you can. There's a lot to find, but there's also a bit more like basic kind of how to also be able to be on stage, because many people, like half of the class, were really afraid of being in the limelight, so to speak. They were afraid of being on stage. They had fear.
Stage fright. Speech fright.
Yes, fright and stage fright. And the other half was very engaged in being on stage, and they wanted to strengthen their skills. So both groups learn a lot, but I would say that the nervous ones, they learned, most of everybody, they learned so much just to get over this stage fright, you know, work with your language, with your voice, you know, telling a story in an engaging way. And so it was, and then you have also, of course, more the philosophical side of it.
Okay.
Yeah, which is basically methods and theories. And there you go into, for example, there's a Burke, Kenneth Burke, who has a dramatic theory of that we get persuaded when we identify with each other. When we identify, we get persuaded. And by identifying, we have to know the character, or the agent, the actor, the scene. We have to understand the story of it, because our minds work in a storytelling mood.
Correct. Narrative. Yes.
Narrative, exactly. So there's a very narrative discourse also.
That makes sense. Thank you for that input. I want you to know a bit about the campaign that you did against sexual violence. Is it an ongoing? Can you tell us about that, your contribution?
Yeah, of course. So it has to do with narrative, actually, because so at the time this campaign was called FATTA, and it means get it, like understand. In Swedish, and it was a time where we were doing a lot of music. We were women working together as a collective, feminist collective, and we were doing a lot of music together. It was not really that political. And then one day, there was a news article about a rape in a city where some of our girls in the group, they were from that city. So it was like hometown, and it's a small town, and they knew the school where this happened, and they kind of recognized, you know, the scene of it, and they read about it. And it was like 3 guys that had raped one girl in school. They were young, they were like 15, 16, and they had used a bottle to rape her, and there was they were going to court, and they were freed. So they were freed. All of the guys were freed, and she was left with nothing. And in this paper, you had this article, and next to the article, you had an ad for wine. So they had used like a bottle, and then they had a big bottle next to the article. And we just exploded. Like, my friend just exploded. She was so upset about them being freed. And also what was said about why they were being freed. Because it was not only that they didn't get any punishment, it was also that the arguments was that she was holding her legs together because she was timid, or she was not open. She was timid, and she didn't say no, really. But she went to the police afterwards and to the doctor, and she had wounds and she was wounded, but still it wasn't enough. And then we sat together, and we were so upset, and we started talking, and we realized that only in our little group of 4 people, 4 women, we had also experiences of sexual violence. It was different levels of sexual violence, but everyone had something to share about being molested, about being in a situation where very hurtful situation. And we realized that if we have these experiences, then there must be so many women having these experiences. And we started, like, we have to do something. People have to get it. They have to FATTA.
I get you.
And then we realized that, okay, what can we do? We do music. Okay, what can we do? Okay, we should ask for people's stories. This was before Me Too, by the way. Before Me Too. Should ask people to send in their own experiences, and then we would use these stories to make a song, a rap song, and a music video, and also write a debate article and put light on this issue, that people that are raping other people, they don't get any punishment. They go free. And it's been a problem for so long in Sweden, and we have not had a law that protects the victim from rape, more or less. And this is a very tough subject to talk about, and I know that it's also tough to listen to these things. But
we've seen worse in our country. A lot worse. To an extent, here in our country, it's like one of the narratives that are it's like women, they deserve these. It's sad. Same with gender-based violence. You know, it's like you deserve. You were wearing in a way that was provocative. You deserve to be raped. You deserve to be molested. In our country it's
go around, and you're not available for people until you say no. You're not available for someone to do whatever they want until you say no. No, you have to know they want it. You have to get consent. You have to get a yes before. And this is kind of the shift. And when we lift the lid, and so many stories came. We got 100 stories in one, and we made this song. We wrote this debate article, and it grew and it grew and it grew. We did demonstrations. We were 10,000 people demonstrating to get a consent law, because we didn't have a consent law. So it's like we need a law to protect the victims from this happening over and over again. And it was a big movement, but it was not enough. We were fighting, but then Me Too came, and Me Too came with a lot of more stories, and the politicians started to listen. And finally,
in 2018 there was now a consent,
and that was 5 years after.
Well done. This is a game changer. This is what we want to hear.
Then also my friend is very important. Nice. He's my muse here. My friend is my muse. So he's telling me, also reminding me that artists was a part of this. You know, musicians was a part of music. So this created a scene for artists that grew with this, that were telling their story and growing with this, and also bringing more artists to the table. And together, like the music community really helped to push this political agenda. And actually where it clicked for me, that we can make a change. I'm telling you, Luthando, we were not experts. No one was experts. No one. But experts joined, you know, because the artist was telling.
Well done indeed.
So, also nice.
It's the heart. You share the same heart. You share the same burden. You share the same responsibility. So kudos to you. And really, one of our ladies here saying that she's actually getting ideas now on what to propose in the next parents meeting in school. You know, because it's still a reality that even children in school, they are still being raped. You'd find out that for years, for months, you know, and those things are not being reported, or when they are reported, cases don't go any far. It's really bad in our country. That is why in our country there's a lot of what is called mob justice. I'm not sure if you would be familiar with the term that side, but here where a rapist, communities will come together and they would burn that person alive, cut off the trouble, literally, and then they don't mind calling the police, because who are they going to arrest? Like, okay, you can come arrest us. We just killed this person because this is what he did. So then you can't arrest the whole community. Like, they taking the law into their hands, such that one way or another, and I stand to be corrected, but we've also seen how police, they actually let the community take the law into their own hands, because they can see that it has really gone out of hand, and they can only arrest so many people. And like you were saying, that these guys, they get freed, because even the most notorious, they can get arrested, and then they have money and they have people that they know inside, you know, so then they would get bail and whatnot. Then they come back to torment the communities. So they take the law into their own hands. And even the police, Vanessa, I kid you not, even the police, they are scared of these. For example, you'd get maybe an anonymous call that, you know, there are drugs in that place. Police are afraid to go there because they know that whoever the leader, the drug dealer, they don't want to be messed with. So then that is why then the communities, they end up taking the law into their own hands, you know. So they would come to, and I myself have witnessed this when these guys who robbed, you know, they robbed this lady. The community came out and they took the guy, made him parade like a whole center naked, and they were beating him, pouring salt on him on the wounds, like shambak, and then like hot water until the guy, and as I'm saying it, I mean, it's gruesome, and I mean that's someone's child. I mean, it's a tricky situation, but then they trying to show that you can't keep messing, you can't keep killing, you can't keep raping.
No, it's terrible.
It is.
It's because and the blame will come to the victim again, because then the community will blame. You see it over and over again. The community is blaming the victim for speaking her truth, because then she is responsible for this kind of behavior. And this is, we see it again and again, and people have been witnessing that when they go to court, or when they speak their truth, when they tell about what happened, it's like a second rape, because they you know, iced out from the community. And this is a huge problem. And we must know, and I think we have to start very early, kids, like really like kids.
Yeah, correct.
Like we have in Sweden, we say, stop min kropp. Like kids, like, stop my body. And even the kids, they know it, the small kids, they know it, that if you like something, they say, stop my body. And they are 3-4 years old, and they say, stop my body, because we have an idea that, especially about women, two things. The idea about women being like yours to take until she says no. And this is a very stupid idea that we have to really change and reform, that you're not allowed to like take someone.
Correct, that's true.
A woman's body, it's her body. And the other thing is that when you talk about these mob punishment, it's also like in prison, for example, the ones that had gone to prison, like the few that had gone to prison for rape, this is like the worst thing in prison. Like, you get basically, this is like the worst thing you go to prison for in prison. This is it's seen as very, very low, you know. But at the same time, we know that 1 out of 3 women has once experienced sexual violence of some sort. 1 out of 3 women. And that and 95% or even more of the violators are men. So this means that men, it's also part of the patriarchal system somehow. You're not aware, or you take advantage. And so it's a very paradoxical thing that it's in the, you know, manlyhood, but still you're supposed to burn the man who's doing it. Like, it's putting the blame somewhere else, because you also have it in you somehow, and we all have it somehow, you know. So we have to talk about it, we have to deal with it. And
I understand. I just want to read here. Someone Aubrey asked here, will like, does the government or lawmakers listen to you guys when you fight for these human rights? So do you get? And I think I can answer at least to one, because then after so long, you actually a new consent, a law of sexual consent in Sweden in 2018, you know, was established. So then obviously it reached to the ears, and eventually they did something about it. And then since then, even now, like, how does it look like? Would you say that the government does adhere to some sort, you know, with your contribution? If you would scale, could you say there's been a huge difference since then?
It's been a difference in juridical difference. Like, there's more people getting a sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the 2018. But yes, 1st of July 2018, we got a consent law. So that was a huge win for the whole movement. And then we've seen a lot of court cases, like, strengthening this. And now it's been a big movement again about having it on a European level. So in the European Union, we have election now for European Union, and we're fighting for having a consent law on a European Union level, because most of the laws in the European Union have big effects in the European countries, and some of them are mandatory. So you have some laws that you have to implement also on a national level. So fighting for a European consent law for everyone, it would really push it forward. And you have countries like Italy that's been for it, you know, that you think conservative and like, oh, Madonna, you know, like, but they are actually for it. But Sweden has not been for it. So we had to push and push and push so that Swedish politicians would be for it in a European level. And now they're kind of for it. So now there's happening things. So I
seem to be, you and your group of women have been taking a messianic role in Sweden. And we applaud you for that. You know, as we are coming to conclusion, I just want to touch a bit on your passion now, which is the music side, DJ Neyney, which I've gotten the grace to experience. You know, for those who don't know, oh my goodness, we've had wonderful time touring Europe and Africa. Yeah, we went to Zim. Remember Zim? And Lusaka in Zambia.
Yeah.
Tell us about your music.
Wow.
Yes, DJ.
I remember when we were in Mozolis.
Yes, in Cape Town.
In Cape Town, and we were there with a Red Bull bus playing, and the DJ was playing, I think, what was his name? I don't remember now, but he was playing house, like South African house, and people were only dancing to house, and I was so surprised. I was like, they don't they dance to like hip hop, R&B, Afrobeats, you know, because that's the thing I'm playing. So he let me play, and I was playing some dance hall and things, and people were vibing, but they were surprised. They were like, we normally don't listen to this, like they were used to the South African house. And I think it's really cool how the South African house has inspired so many genres and has inspired so much the Afrobeat scene. You know, you have the inspiration for the whole Afrobeat scene, and I think it's very cool how you're pioneering. You're always in the front line, you know, you're always pushing new genres, and you have people like Black Coffee that is so inspirational. And I hope he's good now. I heard he was like in an accident, but I heard he's
I think he's recovered or recovering.
Yeah, so I'm really impressed, and I also feel that sometimes, you know, when you play Amapiano here in Sweden, it's kind of people want to like it, but they're not really there yet. You know, they're not good yet. They're like, they don't know how to dance. You know, so and it's kind of you know, minimalistic somehow. It's a minimalistic genre. People are like waiting for something to happen. So I play a little bit Amapiano, and then I go back to Afrobeats. So.
But what do you enjoy most about DJing? What is it for you?
Well, I enjoy the party. I always enjoyed a good party, and I really enjoy like making people dance and also zone in. When you zone in and you get really focused on the DJing part, on the mixing, and on the, you know, you have a loop there, you have a vocal there, and you take off some bass here and you put in the loop, and then you filter it, and then it goes, and people are like, whoa, you know, this kind of it's like a little orgasm happening on stage. So time flies, and you're having fun. People are dancing, and you're kind of conducting. It's also rhetorical for me to be conducting the audience somehow. And I also do it for the ladies. You know, I look at the ladies. I want the ladies to dance. I want them to feel safe. I want them to have fun. And I also want to be an inspiration for them. I want to be an inspiration. I want them to see me and see like, I can do that. And I've been doing workshops for girls, because they're like, and many people, they come to me, maybe more before, but they came to me like, you're a DJ, you're a girl and you can DJ.
I love that. Yeah, that also answers then my other question, because I wanted now to speak to the inner you know, part of the whole thing, because there has to be some drive, there has to be an inspiration, you have to draw from somewhere. So I wanted to ask, like, where do you draw from? Where do you draw from that one thing that makes you wake up at any time to go DJ? Because I'm sure it's not every day where you feel like a party, you know. So then in times like that, what do you do? Where do you draw your strength from? You know, what motivates
very
you?
good question. And I feel like going back to where we started from my family, like, you know, the table where we sit together, and I have my brothers, I'm competing with them. I want to be entertaining. I want to be fun and have a story. It goes back to there, you know, it's my inner child who's like, but I have to be funny too. Like, I have to sing too, you know, I cannot be passive. I have to go and show me. Like, I want to show me. I want to use my voice. I want to, and it comes from that, like the inner child that really wants to give and also receive. Like, I want to give and I want to receive love back. I really want to inspire people, and I want to get love back. Like, I'm very needy for love. You can ask
to be I love it. It has to be what is this word now, like reciprocal? Okay, so
yes, very
I'm loving it. Yeah.
and then also a little bit of this kind of showing them, you know, I want to show them that I can do it. I want to show them, if there's only guys up there, I want to show them that I can do it.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
And that's it has a very like competitiveness and love, you know, wanting that love, giving that love. So it comes from there. And actually nowadays I play less. I play like a few times a year only. I play like spring, autumn, New Year's, summer, maybe, I don't know, like 10 times.
Okay, I was about to ask what's on the pipeline for the music side.
So I play, I'm going to Stockholm next weekend. Yeah, I think in 2 weeks I'm going to Stockholm to play. And I do it less now, but I really enjoy it when I do it, but I also miss it, because I feel that DJing saves me from being this like boring kind of 9 to 5 person, you know. It makes me creative. I need the creative side. And I think it's so sad, you know, when you're stuck
You have a lovely comment here.
Oh, Sandra, Lady Sandra. Yeah, she's the best audience on the Afrobeats clubs.
This is for This is for Sandra right here.
Sandra. Yeah.
All the way from South Africa, Sandra. show Sandra some love. Oh man.
I love that. I hear Sandra in the back, like, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, this is beautiful. Thank you so much. I think one last question I want to ask you is, when are you coming back to South Africa?
Oh my God.
When are you coming back?
I'm having real anxiety because I want to go so bad. So
your
bad.
Dad was here. Papa Goldberg was here. I think Victor is still here.
Yeah, Victor is there. He lives there. So I have to go. Like, I have to go.
He lives here? Lives here now?
Lives.
I know he's a dad.
Luthando, you have to meet him. Please tell me. Promise me.
Yeah, we already spoke about that. He was busy last week, so we still have a meeting.
Okay, good.
He's a dad now. Also, he lives here, lives here. Like, live. Okay.
So I go and meet my new little...
Is it a niece or nephew? What do you have here?
Niece.
You must come. This year still.
Yes. I want to come like March, April.
March, April this year. Okay, that's just now. March is next month. Oh.
I just have to, I work for the mayor in Malmö. I didn't even tell you that.
Yeah, we have it in your profile.
Yeah.
How's that going?
I work with Mayor of Malmö, and there's so much going on all the time.
I can imagine,
and
definitely.
I wanted to go now, like really now. But I realized that, okay, the year has just started and everyone is starting up in January. So I have to tell you, like, I wanted to go so bad, but the year was starting up and it was correct for me to go.
Let's see how the year goes. I'm going to ask you if you have any last words you want to share with our viewers, any words of encouragement, whatever it is that is in your heart, and we're going to love and leave you. Over to you, ma'am.
I'm very grateful that you're doing this, Luthando. I think you're doing a really awesome initiative. And every one of these small initiatives really make a difference. And I think that it could create a movement, from that seed to a whole forest, really, because you need inspiration. You need people to go in the forefront and show the way a little bit, and you can like grab onto them. And since you're a star by nature, I think that you're doing a really important thing now. And I also want to say that, cooperation is key. Like, cooperate, you cannot do everything on your own, and you don't have to. There's a lot of people that share the same experiences as you, and you can try strategically, like, who can you reach out to join you on this journey? And also, if you're not an expert yourself, who's an expert? Could you reach out to them?
Yes.
And I think that people often get happy when you reach out to them. So cooperation, and also the rhetorical mindset, with the thought leadership, with the logical arguments and facts, and then you have the feeling, the pathos, the drive to take you there. So remember those three when you
do so. I'll do so. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you for honoring this invitation. It is not taken light. And this, you can imagine, this is the first ProfessionXplore, which is going to be annual, and you happened to be in the first one. That's not a light thing. So I'm really grateful. I appreciate you taking your time. Thank you to you and your family. And Sandra says, I hope this live will be posted somewhere so we can all share it forward. Definitely, that is going to happen. It's going to go to Facebook. It's going to go to YouTube. So you, Sandra, like this page. Strengthening a Woman, SWAW_SA, and everything is being shared here. Thank you, Zandi, always for being here. Thank you, sis. And thank you to everyone for joining. We have a Sweden audience here. Thank you. Yes, you wanted to say something, Vanessa?
See if you could, if there's some initiative that you could join before the election in South Africa. Like, if there's some initiative that you feel that they share your values and they're actually doing some community organizing, they're actually touching people before the election, they actually want something for this country, join them. Like, for one day, try to
exactly, and then impact, boom, you know. Thank you very much. Okay, let me love and leave you, Vanessa. Thank to the is it a DJ or producer who gave you this wonderful studio here? Thank you.
FATTA. He's the producer of a media company that do Swedish news and Arabic. It's called.
Yeah, that's lovely. Oh man, thank you very much. So yeah, we'll keep in touch, and I can't wait to see you again in South Africa. Bye, and bye everyone.
Bless.
Thank you.